Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Happy Friday, guys. Welcome to the Digital Marketing Podcast and video where we talk about digital marketing tactics and strategies to help grow your business. Today is going to be, I think, an interesting show. It really is inspired by a recent conversation as well as many of the opportunities that we've had as an agency to work with clients who are presented sponsorship opportunities for events. And today is going to be, I think, a brilliant twist on event sponsorship that could really yield massive upside and brand ROI. So what is this brilliant twist? Well, I think if you kind of step back and you think about some of the things that we've talked about on the podcast and video episodes before, is this idea that we really need to make a shift away from being the commercial or the ad and think about becoming the show, actually becoming the thing that people are tuning in for, not the thing that interrupts the thing that we're trying to watch or the content that we're trying to consume. So this idea that we're shifting the way we present our brand and present our value proposition to those who we would love to be their brand of choice when it comes to the products or services that they're looking for. So I think today is unique. For those of you who've tuned in before, there's a little different perspective. We kind of shift things up. And so for those of you who are tuning into the video for the first time, this is a little different perspective. But I think it's appropriate for the show. Where should get this? Sorry, guys. Yeah, so I think it's appropriate that this brilliant twist on event sponsorship that could really yield massive upside and brand ROI for your company. Okay, so let's talk about this. So let's say your company is presented with a sponsorship opportunity. And whatever that sponsorship dollar is, they're going to give you, your logo on the program or your logo on the billboard, or, they're going to, all the different things that you get as a sponsorship, right? I mean, it's pretty common. So what we want to think about now is how can we move away from, because being a sponsor, you're really a spectator. You're not really a participant in the event, and events are really about human experience. And what we've learned is that when a brand can provide an experience, there's something special about that. So let's think about this. So let's say that you're given the opportunity to have a sponsorship, and through that sponsorship you can get a booth. You set up some type of display. And, the idea is that people are going to come to you and, find out more about who you are. I don't know about you guys, but I've done those for the last 3 or 4 decades. And many times it's, oh my gosh, how soon can we get out of here? Because, people are like, they don't even want to come up to booths in general because they feel like they're going to be sold to, right? That's what they feel like. You feel like, oh gosh, I just want to go up there and get the really great swag and get out of there. So think about this. What if your company, let's say for instance you were a bicycle company and you had an opportunity to sponsor a 10K, 12K event, bike event. Why not actually have someone participate from your company in the event? Be a participant. Now, you still can give a donation or you still can be a sponsor, but check this out. Imagine if you had someone on your staff who loves bikes and who is a rider, who is a cyclist, who has maybe competed before, and you get them to actually enter as a participant in the event. So then what you're able to do is then document the entire process from them going online, filling out the online subscription. You video the whole thing. You could do it documentary style, and you could, have someone interview them. So why are you entering in this year's event? And have them talk about, well, this is the first year that I've done it, but I love cycling. and make it a personal documentation of the journey to the event, right? And so, have a couple of episodes where, your person, the participant, the representative from your company, is actually, thinking about, okay, how am I gonna, set up my bike? I'm gonna have, various pedals, and, I'm checking out my brakes, and, am I gonna use, the clip-on water bottle? Just really go documentary style in leading up to the event, and then use that and publish that content on a regular basis through your social media channels, tagging the brand or tagging the event page as you're leading up to the event. I think what's interesting is that, when brands think about this in becoming a participant and moving away from being just a spectator of an event, something happens. There's a shift, there's a pivot, because these becoming a participant allows you to have really this authentic engagement opportunity within the community of people who are part of your base. The other thing too is, obviously, if you're a local, if you're wanting to see an improvement in a local area or a specific market, obviously participating in events in that area, again, it provides you this contextual, ad placement that doesn't feel like an ad, it feels like a story, right? And so your brand has then become a part of the journey, a part of the story of this event. So being able to document the entire process gives you content that's not going to feel produced. It's not going to feel, again, and you want to do maybe just like me. I've got my camera set up here, I've got my phone recording it. It doesn't have to be all high def. It just needs to be what was the process. Now, I think the other thing that, especially with an event, whether, let's say it was a cycling event, or, let's say it was a poker run, like a charity event, or if it was a cook-off, or, whatever the competition is, the practice and the preparation leading up to that event creates this whole momentum leading up to that day. And people are going to tune in. They're going to love to be part of that. Why? Because we all have FOMO, right? We all have the fear of missing out. And so maybe we can't participate, but we want to come along a journey with you and the participant that's going to be in this, contest. It really provides this authentic story that your brand then becomes a part of, and that you're not this, break in the action, this commercial, that kind of stops like right in the middle of things and interrupts the show. You're actually part of the show. You're a character in the actual entertainment. This is the pivot. This is the shift from being this sort of distant, hey, we're just, giving money to the organization and, putting up our brand and our wares and our swag, and, it really is impersonal. But when you become a participant, the game changes. Now, here's another thing. On the day of the event, doing something like this in a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live and building up all the way through as you're preparing for this event. I mean, you may start 2 months out, 3 months out, and build up and have a whole dedicated YouTube, video series on the journey to, the 2K, or, whatever the name of the contest is, right? And you're constantly updating that content. So when you get there and the event is on live and is happening right then and there, here's the shift. We've talked about this ad nauseum about you need to think like a media company and less like a company that sells widgets or, whatever. When you become the company that live streams that event, you now have content that many people don't have. I mean, look at all the different photos and videos that are uploaded on, Facebook or Instagram or IGTV, or even Snapchat, of things that are happening in the real world right at that moment. So if you become part of that live feed and begin broadcasting it. Now, obviously, it's going to be from the point of view of your participant, right? You might have, however you set that up. You then bypass all the media. You become the media company. And I guarantee you, people will follow the story, and people will really, engage, especially the friends and the family of the person, that is participating in, the 2K or the challenge or what have you. So this is a great example of a shift, from don't be the ad, be the show. Don't be the interruption in the entertainment. Be part of the entertainment. Be a part of the party. Don't just, interrupt the party with your special message. I think this is really, here's the thing. Somebody's going to hear this video, and I would love to hear the feedback of a company that actually executes this. It happens all the time, but I'd love to hear it, because I know there's going to be some companies, maybe you're a CEO, or maybe you're the, head of marketing, or you're a business owner, and you're like, man, that's a really great idea, but that just takes so much effort. You're right, it does take effort, and that's what makes it so authentic and real, is that when a company actually participates in an event, instead of just throwing money, right, and erecting their gigantic billboard commercial in the middle of the event, there's something different about that, right? But you've got to document, you've got to capture that, and then publish that in a format where people can consume the content. Invite them into the story that you're telling, that you're being a part of the community, that you're interacting, with the people who use and consume your content. I mean, you could be a motorcycle dealer, and maybe there's a poker run, or maybe you are a restaurant and there's a big cook-off, or so instead of, yes, you can be the sponsor, go ahead and do that. But here's the thing, we've been approached numerous times, and we've been the one that approached the media companies on behalf of our client, and we were looking for a media partner to be the exclusive one, to have reporters on the scene, and they've paid tens of thousands of dollars to be that exclusive media partner. Guys, those days are old, because anyone with a camera and YouTube and an internet connection can be the media partner, right? Without paying a dime. Now, obviously, if your brand really, has an interest and wants to show support for the community, for the nonprofit organization that's hosting this, 4K, 10K, fun run, poker run, whatever it is, cook off, being able to contribute financially, because sometimes pulling these things off is quite difficult, and they do need resources to do it. So doing that is of great benefit. But again, you've got to switch your thinking. You've got to change your thought process of, I don't want to be the commercial, I want to be the show. And so by actually participating and then documenting the planning, the preparing, the selection of the ingredients that you're going to cook, or the selection of the equipment you're going to use, or the practice reps that you took in preparing for the big day. Now, here's the ultimate win, right? Let's say you go out, and it's something where, you've got to, run or bike or whatever, and, you kind of scout out, and do part of your video feed from, hey, we're checking out this corner, and we can see, you need to be aware of this traffic, or like really get into it, right? I mean, really get into how you're going to win. And then imagine this, train to win it. And when you win it, give everything back, right? Take the big award and then donate all of the proceeds right back to that company, or, to someone who's really in need. Because the point of interacting, yes, it was to win, and yes, it was to participate, but it was the act of participation that was the end result you were looking for, right? You wanted to not just be the ad. You didn't want to be just the commercial. You wanted to be part of the story. And that is the brilliant twist on event sponsorship that could yield massive brand ROI for your company. Guys, thanks for tuning in to the Digital Marketing Podcast. My name is Michael Wynn. I am the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. I hope you have a great weekend and tune in on Monday.